This is a video on using Pythagorean Theorem with building span and line length and rise and run. First, we need to look at a little bit of vocabulary review. What's the relationship between run and span? And the span divided by 2 gives you the run. And we can use the Pythagorean Theorem. If you remember, it's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And to do that, we need to basically look at where our triangle might be. We can put in a dashed line here. And if you do, you'll see that there's a relationship then between the rise, the run, and the line length. The line length will be the hypotenuse, or C, and the rise and run make up the legs of the triangle, or A and B. Let's look at some examples. What's the line length if the rise is 7 feet and the span is 30 feet? So here's our little graphic to help us remember the parts. Okay, so we've got a squared plus b squared equals c squared. We have to figure out what our run is, and it tells us that the span is 30 feet. So we're going to take 30 feet and divide it by 2. That's going to tell us that our run is 15. So A is going to be 15, and B, the rise, is 7 feet. So we're going to plug those in. 15 squared plus 7 squared is c squared. That gives us 225 plus 49 is c squared. We add those together, and we end up with 274 equals c squared. Now we have to grab our calculator and hit that square root button to figure out what the square root is of 274. The square root of c squared is just c. They cancel each other out. So we end up with 16.5529 is c. We can round that to the nearest tenth if they're asking for decimals, or we can go to feet and inches. And if we did feet and inches, we get 16 feet and 6 5/8 inches for C, and that's our line length. Let's look at another example. What's the span if the rise is 6 feet and the line length is 10 feet? Okay, so our rise is B, and our line length of C is 10, and we have to figure out what the span is. We don't know what the span is, we don't know what the run is, so we don't know what A is. But we do know B, the rise, is 6 feet, and we do know C, the line length, is 10 feet. So we're going to take our Pythagorean theorem of a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and we're going to plug in, we're going to leave a squared, but to plug in 6 squared and 10 squared. We're going to get 36 equals, a squared plus 36 equals 100. We're going to subtract 36 from both sides, so we get a squared equals 64, and we're going to take the square root then of both sides. The square root of 64 is 8, so that means that A equals 8. So A is 8 feet. The run is 8 feet, so what would the span be? The run is 8 feet, so the span is 2 times 8, or 2 times the run. The span is 16 feet. So I hope that these two examples give you a little more confidence in finding the building span or the line length using the Pythagorean theorem. Good luck.